The summer of 1948 was unlike any off-season the fledgling Basketball Association of America had seen. The league was still only 2 years old, but already it was beginning to overshadow its older rival, the National Basketball League. The NBL had been around since 1937, but its footprint was largely confined to small Midwestern cities and industrial towns, while the BAA was firmly planted in major markets like New York, Philadelphia, and Boston. Still, the talent gap was an issue. Many of the best players, the kind who could fill box scores and put fans in seats, were playing in the NBL. The BAA needed a move that would shift the balance of power once and for all. That move came in the form of an aggressive summer raid. For NBL franchises jumped ship to the BAA. Minneapolis Lakers, fresh off an NBL championship led by the 6 feet 10 inches rookie sensation George Mikan, already being hailed as the most dominant big man the game had ever seen. Rochester Royals, a deep, disciplined squad coached by Les Harrison, with a reputation for balanced scoring and rugged defense. Fort Wayne Pistons, a consistent contender built around Bobby McDermott's shooting and a blue-collar frontcourt. Indianapolis Jets, the shortest-lived of the group, but a sign that the BAA was serious about penetrating basketball's Midwest heartland. These defections sent shockwaves through the basketball world. Not only did the BAA gain star power and championship pedigree, but the move also crippled the NBL's prestige. For the first time, the BAA could claim it had both the biggest markets and the biggest names. BAA President Maurice Podoloff, normally reserved in his public remarks, called the additions a decisive step toward making our league the premier destination for professional basketball. Privately, executives knew it was more than that. It was a death blow to the NBL's long-term survival. As the leaves began to turn that fall, the newly expanded BAA had more than just 12 teams. It had a storyline. George Mikan, the bespectacled giant from DePaul University, was making his debut on the BAA stage. At 6 feet 10 inches and nearly 250 pounds, Mikan towered over his peers, yet moved with surprising agility. He could score with hook shots, bank shots, and sheer force under the rim. Sports writers who had once dismissed pro basketball as a sideshow now had a headline act. Newspapers in New York, Philadelphia, and Chicago ran feature stories on the monster from Minneapolis. And the Lakers' arrival instantly gave the league a marquee matchup every time they hit the road. The preseason chatter also focused on the league's new geographic balance. With teams spread from Providence to Minneapolis, scheduling became a logistical challenge. Players still traveled mainly by train, often arriving in town just hours before tip-off. In an era before charter flights and sports science, recovery was little more than a steak dinner and a few hours of sleep in a small hotel. BAA arenas were slowly improving, but many still had dim lighting and slippery floors. In some venues, cigarette smoke hung over the court like a haze, and the ball could skitter unpredictably on uneven hardwood. The game was gritty, physical, and personal. No one backed down from a challenge. The 1948-49 season tipped off with the kind of excitement the league had only dreamed about 2 years earlier. The Minneapolis Lakers wasted no time showing they were for real, riding Mikan's scoring to a hot start. In Philadelphia, Joe Fulks continued to dazzle fans with his high-arching jump shots, refusing to surrender his status as the league's most dangerous scorer. The New York Knicks and Rochester Royals quickly emerged as contenders, each boasting depth and disciplined play. The Royals' Arnie Risen was one of the few men who could body up against Mikan without getting bullied. Meanwhile, the Fort Wayne Pistons relied on a bruising style that made visiting teams dread trips to Indiana. But the season wasn't without turbulence. The Indianapolis Jets struggled badly, and rumors swirled that the team might fold before the year was out. Travel costs, small crowds, and competition for attention with college basketball all strained the league's weaker franchises. By mid-season, the Lakers were firmly atop the Western Division, while the Eastern race was a dogfight. Philadelphia, New York, and Washington traded the lead multiple times. Washington's Bob Furyk provided steady scoring, and coach Red Auerbach, still years away from his Celtics dynasty, was earning respect for his tactical mind. The league also experimented with marketing gimmicks to keep fans engaged. Halftime entertainment, celebrity appearances, and even free ticket nights were common. In one famous promotion, a fan in Providence was offered a cash prize if he could outshoot Joe Fulks in a free throw contest. Fulks missed intentionally to let the fan win, drawing cheers that rivaled any in-game moment. Still, the biggest draw remained Mikan. In a January showdown against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden, he poured in 42 points, an unheard-of total at the time, cementing his reputation as the sport's first true box office attraction. The regular season closed with the Lakers dominating the West and Rochester securing the second spot. In the East, Washington's consistency earned them the top seed, followed closely by New York and Philadelphia. The playoff format was still evolving, but this year's bracket delivered instant drama. Philadelphia edged New York in a physical series that left both teams battered. Rochester survived Fort Wayne in a grueling set, while the Lakers dispatched Chicago with ease. The semifinals were where the league's new power structure became clear. Minneapolis overpowered Rochester, Mikan scoring at will and drawing multiple defenders, which freed up Jim Pollard and Herm Schaefer for open shots. In the East, Washington shocked Philadelphia, neutralizing Fulks with aggressive double teams and forcing other Warriors to take the big shots. The championship series was billed as a clash of styles. Minneapolis's size and firepower against Washington's disciplined execution and coaching. In Game 1, Mikan scored 42 points, and the Lakers cruised. Washington responded in Game 2 with stifling defense, forcing Mikan into foul trouble. But over the next 3 games, the Lakers' depth proved too much. Pollard's athleticism, John Cunliffe's calm coaching, and Mikan's relentless scoring carried Minneapolis to a 4-2 series victory. The Lakers were champions in their first BAA season, a feat that sent a clear message. The balance of power had shifted permanently. The 1948-49 season was more than a championship year. It was the year the BAA essentially won the war with the NBL. By the summer of 1949, talks of a full merger were underway, and within months, the National Basketball Association would be born. For fans, the season proved that professional basketball could deliver star power, high stakes, and compelling rivalries. For the league's executives, it was proof that aggressive expansion and securing the best talent was the only path forward. In the end, the image of George Mikan hoisting the trophy defined the year, a giant both literally and figuratively, standing at the dawn of a new basketball era.